Hi there, hello there guys. I'm here to present to you the UML case diagrams and the class diagrams for the project and the whole idea and the whole spectrum of the product itself. It's come to my attention that you guys have not been able to properly, I should say, transfer the records of the textbook requisitions. I've always done it on paper, so from the following meeting I was able to draft this. So at first we start with the instructor in his use case. The instructor is able to both enter record, edit record, send records to the primary database where the program share will be taking the records from. They're able to view reports that the program share generates, and they're able to view their records of the textbook requisitions just so they can edit it and just to make sure that everything is proper, and if it's not, they can go back and edit it here before sending it to the main database as a final requisition. So when the instructor enters the records, the instructor is able to create a file of a textbook requisition. The instructor enters their name, class, the course name, the term, the semester, when the book is required, amount of sections, the section number for those sections, the book name, author name, the ISB number, and for the ISB number, we're going to be pertaining with the ISBN 13, seeing as the recent change, January 2007, where most of the recent books are now carrying ISBN 13. Some do carry ISBN 10 as well, with both numbers, but for this case we'll just use the ISBN 13. They will be able to choose whether the book is required, optional, or recommended. They have to make sure they write down the book edition, the book costs, sections that the book is for, the anticipated revolvement, whether the book has to be like new or used due to the online codes, can the book be sold back. That's usually relevant when it comes with books that, like, if there's a new edition as well, like if the publisher does ask for a new edition of a book and requires the professors and the instructors to do so, the instructors do have the option to recommend any older editions, which they may also do so in the additional comments text box. So when the instructor edits the records, they do so just to make sure that there are no mistakes, because once they send the records to the database, that's it, it's final. So the instructors, overall on this system, what was the broad plan, the general idea, is to have a sort of login mechanism where the instructor, program share, and dean all have different administrative rights. The instructor is able to utilize all of these functions in the use case, and that's pretty much it. They're pretty limited because that's all we need them to do. And then once they send the record to the database, that's all they can do. They can view the reports from the database, but it's read-only. You know, they can't alter anything like the program share can. Same goes with the dean. Let's see here. Okay. So let's move on to the program share. After the instructor finishes creating their textbook requisitions, they send it to the records to the database, where the program share is then able to open the file from the database and actually go through and edit. They're able to do so because they have the rights to enter that database. So the program share, upon seeing those records, they still need to go through the approval process through the dean, so we make sure to fit that in there. So the program share, to best be able to utilize this, it's best to print out the records in paper to then be able to send it to the dean. And upon printing, let me scroll down to better explain this. Here we go, the program share sends records to the dean. The program share must print the textbook requisitions and send the files to the dean for the approval process, where the dean signs off on the textbook requisitions. Upon receiving the textbook requisition papers after approval, the program share establishes on the system which textbook requisitions were approved and sends the approved paper/digital files to the bookstore for further processing and ordering from publisher. The sends the approved papers as digital files depends on the bookstore. Right now it's just for the department, but in the future case you can always make it so that upon approval, for the coding in the textbook requisitions. We can make it sort of in the GUI, sort of like a tab where they can just check mark to make sure that it was approved and that they have the official dean's signature from the approval of those records. So when they send that, the dean must approve them through paper. So he must signaturize them. Upon signaturizing them, he can then send back. Also have an email to send towards the program share. As far as the future goes as well, if we were going to go with digital only, we can try to attempt a mechanism for digital signing and verification so that we don't have to rely solely on just paper, and we can perhaps have plans to go fully digital. So the program share can also generate the reports. Only generate the reports when with the approved textbook requisitions. Anything that's not approved is clearly not going to be final. It's not going to be sent to the bookstore for ordering from the publisher in negotiations. The reports will be like financial reports, summaries of book bots, total costs, all of that jazz. The program share does have the allowance of viewing the records, viewing the reports as well. So they need to be able to do so to make sure that everything is good. If not, they can also just message the instructors to resend the file just because something was missing. The dean also has this allowance as well. They're able to do the records and view the reports because they are, after all, the head honchos of the system. So if we scroll down to the class diagram, here we go. So we got the main class, the book requisition. This is the main file, similar to the artifact that was provided. So all of them have a book requisition ID, just so you can separate each file. They all have an instructor from the instructor class, and these here are also little branches from user, because when you log into the system through the GUI, it's going to verify your login and try to settle your rights as far as the system goes, of what you can or cannot do. Like an instructor cannot approve of the records that the program share can, because after getting confirmation from the dean through the papers, the book requisition instructor, that's from the instructor. The course name is going to be the course name that the instructor is currently teaching. This is just a string. We can change that in the future. The semester, plans were for enumeration, but seeing as there are different 5 weeks now, and just like you had mentioned in the meeting, we decided to go with string for now. The campus, we have from enumerations, we have from plenty of campuses: Maine, Valencia, Osceola, Daytona, Palm Bay, Valencia West, Cocoa, Leesburg, Ocala, South Orlando, South Lake, and Sanford. As far as online classes go, that could be listed here, but usually for the online classes, it's for, they always have some form of campus attached to them, where there may be some final testing and whatnot included in those campuses. So if not, then of course we can always add that online section here. The number of sections is the number of sections that the course will have upon that instructor, and then the section number. The way the GUI will be looked as is when you click on the number of sections, which is an enumeration. It could be from 1 through 40, the numbers. It'll pop up with text fields for section numbers, where you can input the section number, maximum 5 digits, no more, no less. And then it makes it easier for the instructor to be able, it's going to be categorized in an easy pattern so that the instructor can easily view the section numbers to make sure that everything is correct. The number of books, and that's going to be the number of the types of books that are going to be needed for the class. Like, let's say if you were taking a humanities course, you can take a book that deals with more of like Greek mythology, while the other book can deal with a different sorts of mythology, and then that number of book will total be 2, in which you will have to have two different book names, 2 different IBS numbers, and etc. The date received by, that's going to be the day where the books are pretty much going to be needed by. So the instructors must pay attention to make sure that everything is due on time, just so that we can get the approval process by the dean. The book name, it's very clear. It's going to be the name of the book. The author name is going to be the author name of the book. The publisher name will also be given. The ISBN 13 number, opting out from the ISBN 10 because that is obsolete now. The book status. The book status is going to be enumeration. It's going to be whether or not it's required, optional, or recommended. It's going to be all featured on the drop-down box, by the way. Anything with enumeration will be a drop-down box as far as the GUI goes. The book edition, it's going to be the edition of the book. It's just going to have a number attached to it. The book cost, this is the cost of that the students will be paying for that book, just so that we are aware and can use it for further like utilizations, like for a report. The book section, that is going to be, yes, the book section will be for depending on how many sections you have, the number of sections. You can list them as on the string as all sections, or you can specify which sections. So yes, it'll be used, so you can specify which sections require that book, or which other sections may require a different book. So can the book be sold back? Can book be sold back is either a yes or no question. That's due to the fact that there may be a new edition that the publisher may be asking you to sell, and there is no other option. The anticipated enrollment will be the how many students does the instructor anticipate to enroll. That's a number that's very important. The additional comments, that's if anything that the instructor may want to put in there, such as anything that's not covered here, or anything that may not be covered in the final product. The additional comments will be useful at all times to be able to relay some messages to the program share in case there's certain permissions or certain things that they require or that they may want to let the program share know. Here we just got everything from a username. The GUI, everyone just pretty much logs in to the GUI. Depending on if you're instructor, program share, or a dean, you have certain rights. And then for instructor, you can just start doing all your textbook requisitions there. The program share extracts their textbook requisitions, the instructors, from the database that the instructors send to, so that upon seeing that, they're able to categorize and print out all those papers for the dean's approval. After the dean approves them, the papers are sent back again for the program share, whereas the program share then on the system checks off whether or not certain things are approved or not, and they will be sorted within the system. And anything that this hasn't been approved, messages will be sent back to the instructors for further fixes that may be required, alterations, to then move on to the final product, to the final approval process, I mean. And yes, just let me know. Can't wait for the next meeting, and I will keep on working on this just to make sure that everything is looking good and final. So just let me know your thoughts, and can't wait to hear from you again. Thank you.